What's up, everybody? This is SiR, and you know I got soul.
All right, sir. Very
Yes.
excited to be here with you in Vancouver.
Man, likewise.
How's everything going?
It's going well, man. Going very well.
Just want to get started. You know, you dropped your project November last month. Just talk about that project a little bit.
November is my first full-length project through my label, Dawg Entertainment, and yeah, it's my baby, man. I'm glad that I finally got that off my chest. We had been trying to get it right, and it came together very well, better than we could have ever expected. But yeah, it's short and sweet, and I think that's what I like most about it. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Cool. Now, just I guess talk about the growth from the Her EPs up until this point, because you've had a nice progression and organic growth. So just talk about that a little bit.
I think it's all about like time and perspective. Like my view kind of changed a lot. I had some really like life stuff happen, and it kind of just it changed the way I looked at certain things, and yeah, that kind of changed the way I wrote certain records, or it changed the way I kind of attacked certain ideas, I guess, when I'm writing. So the record started to change, and we had a playlist of songs, and I was super happy with it. I thought we were done, and I started working past that, and found something else, and ended up combining two worlds into November, and yeah, it turned out very well.
Cool. So we're really excited about this sound that you're bringing. It's a nice mix. It's something we haven't heard before. Just talk about how you kind of developed that sound.
Whew, man. I pull a lot from, a lot of younger artists, old artists, just, I listen to a lot of music, man, and I started off as an engineer, and that kind of, just gave me a lot of like, control over my sound. Like I can hear something in my head and kind of make it happen on Pro Tools or Logic or whatever DAW I'm using, you know what I mean? And I'm really into the technical side, just as into the technical side as I am the creative side, you know what I mean? And I think that has a lot to do with who I am as a person, who I am as a musician. I'm very hands-on and I'm very involved, and I don't think that'll ever change, you know what I mean? It just kind of, it kind of grows with me, you know what I mean?
Cool. So, of course, you're signed to Top Dog, which has been predominantly a hip-hop label. Of course, SZA's blowing up now, but what made you know that this was the right fit for you, that this would be the place you would call home?
I mean, you never really know.
Right.
But, I mean, I had a good feeling, man. It was already home, you know what I mean? I'm from California, I'm from Inglewood, and, Compton's not too far at all, and, I just felt most comfortable with people that were familiar with, where I come from and what type of person I was, you know what I mean? It just felt right.
Right. Now, of course, along with the SiR project, you've done a lot behind the scenes as well. I got to ask you about a song that you wrote that I really like, which is Frozen by Genuine.
Wow.
Yeah, love that record. Let's talk about that era in your career and writing songs like that. How that kind of helped you to where you are now.
So that's like, dang, that was probably 2012. Oh, man. I was writing with my brothers at the time. We're Woodworks, representing Inglewood, California all day, 700 block, man. And shit, man, that was just, we were in the studio specifically for Genuine, and that record came, and you know what I mean? I didn't even write that all by myself. Who wrote what? Do you remember? Daniel did the hook, and I think me and Davion wrote the verses. Yeah, so that was for sure a team effort. Shout out to the Ferris Boys International.
Right.
But yeah, man, I'm a product of what I mean, my family, and what I mean, my surroundings. My brothers both started off writing music when I just wasn't into it. My early 20s, I was into the gym and fitness, and I was working at like Bally's and LA Fitness and shit, and never really never really took it seriously. When I was a kid, my family, was into music and shit, and it wasn't my thing. You know, I wanted to play sports and I wanted to be, athletic. I wanted to, be involved in other shit. I didn't want to do what my mom wanted me to do at all. But I ended up coming back to it and finding my own, way around music. And I think, I was like 22 when I wrote my first song, and then a few years after that, we were already engineering and working, and and luckily I had my brothers and people that were already involved in the music industry to kind of just nurture me and keep me right, keep me going.
Cool. Another record that you did, which we really liked, we actually put it as one of our top songs of last year, which is 1995 on the Glenn Lewis Jazzy Jeff project. Love that record. Just talk about how you came up with that record.
Man, shout out to Vancouver. Fucking weed is bomb. Okay, so I wrote those verses with Eric Roberson, which, that's some like OG shit, man. And the hook, I recorded it, pitched my voice up, and it's a feeling, man. It's a vibe. It's just something that, 95 for me, I was a little kid, really little kid. And, there was a lot going on in my house. My parents were barely, getting by. My dad just got out of jail. We had just moved to like 38th and King, which was far away from where we were supposed to be. And it was just a real transitional time in my life. But, I was a kid, so I didn't know things were bad. Things were bad when I got in trouble. Other than that, I was a kid enjoying life. You know what I mean? So, everybody remembered the good times in 1995. That was what the song was about. You know what I mean? And it came together very well. And shout out to the guys, man. Shout out to Jazzy Jeff, man. Shout out to Glenn Lewis. Shout out to everybody over there. Playlist Retreat. We always rocking, man.
Dope. So, with the success that you've had behind the scenes, you've written for Jill Scott. I think you had a record on Latoya's last album, Melanie Fiona. Has that made you more patient with your own project, or has that made you less patient because you've tasted success already?
I mean, it doesn't make me more patient, but I'm just an impatient person in general. I have a real problem with, but I have a short attention span too, so, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be mad and then all of a sudden I'm on to something else, you know what I mean? So, I try to just not, worry so much and just be as productive as possible, because you never know when it's done. I have a lot of help, which is great.
Right.
I'm not putting the album together by myself. I think that's a tough task, and shout out to people that love being in control. Right. But I definitely think control, there should be give and take with that. I'm in control. I'm driving, I'm holding the wheel, but I definitely take advice from passengers and people that, have been in my position. You know what I mean? I don't just go out there and just say, oh, yeah, this is my album. I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm definitely with the advice. I'm definitely with the learning. I'm trying to get better and trying to make better music. You know what I mean? So
cool. Now, I'd love to get this, the background on this, because, you worked on Tyrese's last project, and he always tells us about this R&B boot camp that he has going on. Were you kind of a part of that?
At the time, I was engineering, and yes.
What would happen at this boot camp?
He would just call in like writers and producers, and he would basically, just put together projects. Like, depending on if he's working on his album or he's working on other artists, he would, let the writers and the producers come together and kind of just build songs for one specific, purpose. And it was successful every time. He was really good at finding the right people and putting the right people in the right place. You know what I mean? And, he always had good help. I was definitely good help. I feel like, our run was a good one. You know what I mean?
Right.
I engineered the Black Rose album. I did, all the demos on that and stuff, and met a lot of good people. You know what I mean? I learned a lot about myself and about, just, seizing the moment and, being ready for anything. At the time I was so scared to, jump out and write a record, or or tell him that I wrote records because, you know, I was his engineer and I loved my job. You know what I mean? I was good at what I did and I wasn't tripping on if he knew what I did or not. You know what I mean? I just, wanted to keep it professional. And my brother Davion, I hired him on as my assistant for a little while.
Yeah.
And he was like, I write records. You know what I mean? So he went straight at it and, played Tyrese records like the second day he was at, in Arizona at the camp. And then he told Tyrese, he's like, yeah, Daryl writes records too. He's SiR. He writes songs. And, I played him a couple of joints that I had been working on at the time. And he made me, press play in front of all of the producers and stuff like that. And, I pressed play on the record. And when the record stopped, everybody went crazy. Oh,
Right.
It's funny.
Yeah.
But Tyrese is, Tyrese is
He's
a good
Tyrese.
dude, man. Nah,
Yep.
he's a good dude, man. Tyrese he's a busy man, and he's got a lot going on in his life, man. I couldn't imagine being in his shoes. I'm trying to keep my life simple as fuck.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, man, much respect to him.
Cool. That's all that I've got for you. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Man, shout out to you, man. I think it's crazy that you interviewed my brother Davion early on in the game, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. You know what I mean? I'm a testament to my family, man, and just, I'm not the only musician in my family, and I think it's a great thing that we're getting an opportunity to just build and work, and I'm having a great time, and Vancouver was great to us, man. Tonight was a good show. And it sounds like they're having a good time out there right now with Miguel. So,
Right.
I'm going to go catch a little bit of the show real quick.